Guys, I swear to God, the world is going crazy. And I'd rather be talking about science fiction, science fantasy, movies, just crazy stuff. But so much is happening so fast, and I think we all owe it to ourselves. Those of us who have some semblance of common sense, we owe it to the rest of us to actually speak about some of the things that's going on here, because I know there's a lot of people out there who feel like it might just be them, like maybe they're going crazy, because God knows a lot of our families are making us feel this way. If we think a certain way about different topics, it seems like groupthink is slowly taking over the world, and groupthink is not rational thought. So individual thought is being like very, very strongly discouraged. So yeah, it behooves all of us to actually talk about what we make of all of this. I mean, there's a reason why suicide rates are the way they are, going through all of this pandemic bullshit and everything like that. A lot of people are having a hard time, and they're being made to think that there's something wrong with them. And unfortunately, we have a whole Hollywood system, a Hollywood industrial complex full of bullshitters who are really jumping in with this cause. It's very, very discouraging, and it's very creepy when you really think about it. That people who, I mean, you don't know them personally, but you think that they have some good sense, and then you realize they're just on board. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just down with whatever this machine is that's trying to thought control and physically control everything that's going on out here. So what am I talking about? There's two examples that I saw today, so I'm gonna lump them both in the same video because it's pretty much the same disease. Okay, so you have talk show host or late night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, and you have, unfortunately, Mark Hamill. All right, Luke Skywalker, Star Wars, we all know who he is. And both of them, of course, are on the side of telling people what to do with their own bodies and their own health. Okay, so of course we're talking about getting the jab. All right, this is where it all comes from. And you have all of Hollywood who's telling people that they don't have the right to think about this a certain way or to have reservations. Just go, put this thing in your body, just do it. What's the matter with people? They just can't understand why. So instead of trying to encourage a good dialogue, a good respectful dialogue, these people in Hollywood they must be being instructed to shame people, to ridicule people. It's one of the most, if not the most disgusting thing that I've seen in all of my years of life. So let's get into this, guys. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. So let's start off with this fucker, Jimmy Kimmel, first. Okay, I have never liked this dude, never thought he was funny. And as a matter of fact, I find most of his comedy to be mean-spirited. However, once he made the leap into being a late night talk show host, because I knew him from like the Man Show a long time ago, and a bunch of other unfunny things. He was involved with Sarah Silverman, I believe it was, for a while, and God knows that bitch, I cannot stand her. I can't stand her sense of humor. And the funny thing is that I did a story years ago about how she and Mark Hamill were making fun of abortion and talking about eating the aborted babies and all this stuff. It was the weirdest thing in the world. You know what I mean? But that was a long time ago, and I gave Mark Hamill a pass about that. But anyway, that's Jimmy Kimmel's ex. Okay, so Jimmy Kimmel is now married, and I remember not too long ago, he was making headlines because he was on his late night talk show crying because his son had health problems. I don't know whether it was a heart problem or something, but it was a baby, and being a father, it really touched my heartstrings. I pulled my heartstrings, and I was thinking to myself, well, I've never liked this dude and everything, but I think that we can relate on that level of being a parent who cares so much about their child and everything. So I wished him well, and I really did feel bad for him. And everybody was talking about it. And of course, we want to see the kids do well. No one likes to see kids not doing well. So we all wished him well, and we all had compassion for him. Now, in 2021, I guess now that he's past all of that, he can turn around and say he just recently made this statement because he just came back on the air. He was on hiatus for a while, and he just came back on the air of his late night talk show. And as part of his monologue, of course, the monologue is just making fun of people who are not going to get vaxxed and don't want to get the jab. Of course, that automatically makes you anti-vaxxers, even though most people who are choosing not to get this particular jab have gotten vaccines in the past. We have gotten immunizations and things like that. But okay, like I said before, ignorance rules the day. So even though you see all of these stories about people having adverse effects to getting the jab, people dropping dead mere days after getting the jab, people still getting breakthrough infections after getting the jab, being in the hospital after getting the jab, no one is supposed to have any reservations about this whatsoever, lest you be ridiculed on a late night talk show that reaches millions, if not billions of people around the world. So he gets on there and he starts making fun of people. And then on top of all that, he says that he believes that unvaccinated people should be denied at the ICU. Unvaccinated people should not get medical assistance should they get sick. And of course, this is in the context of a late night comedy routine. So you get all of these people laughing as he makes fun of them. People who are dying, people who actually have gotten sick. I don't know if he's gone to any of these hospitals and confirmed that these people were unvaccinated, or whether it's just a matter of we can just now point fingers. And I swear, this is what I'm talking about. This is vaxism. You know, and I talked about this before. You know, fuck racism. You know, I did a video before. Not racism, something worse. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I guess we're all some niggers now, right? Everybody who's not being vaccinated or being perceived as not being vaccinated. Now there's a no vaccination, no unvaccinated people allowed. Maybe they're going to have no unvaccinated people water fountains, no unvaccinated people restrooms, no unvaccinated people will be hired here. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Like no coloreds allowed? No colored water fountains? No colored public pools? This is where we are now. This is vaxism, and all of these vaxists are being allowed to spread their poison unchecked. You know, and meanwhile, people are laughing at this. People are wishing the worst on their fellow human being, and somehow we think they deserve it because they made a choice of what to do with their own body when everybody is getting sick. Everybody is spreading this. But these people deserve to die. These people deserve not to be treated. Well, let me let you in on a little fact, a little tidbit, you son of a bitch. All right? That would be that the reasons why these people are ending up in the hospital in the first place is because they're not being treated. So fuck what you're saying about they don't deserve to be treated. They're not being treated. None of us are being treated. All right. They're just now beginning to talk about early treatment options after over a year of sending people home and letting the disease progress to the point where they have to be put on a ventilator when it's too fucking late, and then they die, and then people sit around crying, talking about what's going on. Oh my God, we're so overwhelmed. I can't believe this is happening. If you had treated people in the first place with some of these alternative treatments that are out there, then a lot of those people wouldn't have died. And I know history is going to prove what I'm saying is correct. So when you have average people out here who are looking for alternatives because people have common sense, they realize when there's a disease, when there's an illness, there has to be a treatment. And then you start hearing about people around the world who are using these treatments, who are getting better, who are swearing by it, accredited doctors who have more credits to their name than your Dr. Fauci, who is telling you that there are alternatives. When they start hearing specific names, they start looking for it. Okay, so if they go and they start looking for ivermectin and they start looking for the wrong dosage, you know, the one that's used for livestock, it's because they're desperate. You understand? They're not like these rich motherfuckers out here who can get whatever they want. And when you hear about Joe Rogan, yeah, I just took some ivermectin here. Well, the rest of us can't get that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So what do these desperate people do? They start looking for these unhealthy alternatives. I liken it, and I don't care who objects to it, I liken it to when women were forced to have to do back alley abortions. You know what I mean? Instead of going to accredited doctors where they can get good health care and they can get looked out for. And I'm not an advocate for abortion. I'm not. But I am an advocate for free choice, for a woman's, freedom to choose. What can I say? I'm a man. What she chooses to do with her body is her business. As much as I don't like it, as much as I might object to it, it's her body. In the same way, these people who are choosing not to get the jab and want to look for other alternatives, they're forced to go to these other places in their ignorance because they're desperate. And yet people, getting to Mark Hamill now, think that this is funny because they're going and taking the wrong doses. They're risking their lives because we don't have leadership here who are actually giving people the correct guidance and the correct information. And they're blocking these doctors who might want to treat these patients. They're blocking them from doing it because they're risking their practice. You have people who are calling for doctors to lose their license because they dare to want to treat people early on in the illness. I hate to break this one to you as well, but people are not going, 100% of the people of the world are not going to get vaccinated. And the people who are getting sick deserve to be treated. That's just reality. That's just common sense. But you have Mark Hamill, somebody who I've always tried to respect and say a good word for, who does charity work and, visits sick children and everything. This man gets on Twitter earlier today and mocks these people who are so desperate that they might be trying to search out ivermectin or monoclonal antibody treatments, things like that. He thinks it's funny. So what did he do? Let me just look this up real quick, guys. I don't want to, he says hashtag may the vax be with you. Okay. So he's invoking Star Wars. He's got a little horse emoji with a worm emoji, like I said, making fun of, I'm sure, plenty of his fans, plenty of us who are trying to look for these alternatives. He thinks it's funny. So he posts a link to the Lincoln Project, and it's a video that's pretty much making fun of people who are chasing down horse medication. And of course, everyone wants to laugh at this. Like I said before, they think that the shit is funny, even though it's only happening because people are desperate, and I will say this about Mark Hamill. I have always spoken with respect and admiration for Mark Hamill, for the things that he's done, as far as helping the sick children. But at this point, dudes, I gotta wonder, what is he even helping sick children for? Is that for the right reasons? Is he doing it for himself? I'm just fucking tired, man. I'm tired of believing in people and trying to give them the best consideration and the benefit of the doubt when I see them doing things like this. It's a no-brainer, dog. I'm not a genius. If I can figure out that people are doing this in desperation and it's a shame on the leadership of this country, then how could this man be on Twitter with the millions of followers that he has? He just went viral just by putting his own name there. With that type of power comes responsibility. You just can't get on Twitter and start mocking a large portion of your audience, a large portion of our population who are reaching out in desperation and pain and fear, and think that you're going to maintain the same level of respect with me. You're just not going to do that, Mark Hamill. So even though I will always love Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, I'm really starting to I'm convinced. When I see shit like this, I'm convinced that you're just not a good person when you do stuff like this. We all have our opinions on everything. We have very strong opinions. But like I said, when you get on Twitter and you decide that you're just going to throw caution to the wind and just middle finger people who are scared and they're desperate and they're sick, then you've reached a whole new level of depravity, and just complete delusion, if you want to say that. He's deluded, he's departed from reality, and he's doing that willfully, so like I said before, I'm just done. I'm done. All of these Hollywood people, they're all on the same page. And if you're not on the same page, then you're going to get so-called blacklisted, even though I hate that term. But yes, that's basically what's going to happen. Doctors are risking their license. Actors are risking their careers. Hell, I'm risking my reputation by even saying this because people are not allowed to do this, even though it's just free thought. What am I influencing? What am I changing? I'm just talking about how I feel in my mind. But somehow that's unacceptable. Somehow I'm still going to get people in the comment section who are going to attack me. You know, they're going to call me every name in the book. They're going to downvote this video as if I don't have the right to just say how I feel. We're living in a very, very dangerous time. And like I said before, even if it's cool for you, you would think you would want to be protecting the rights of our children to be able to grow up in some semblance of freedom. But we're just throwing it all away, you know, for jackasses like Kimmel and Hamill to be able to join in this this sick, creepy, demented, like just evil wave that's going on here, where you can just wish death upon people, and you can find that it's funny that people are being lied to and they're being misled. No matter what you think about that horse treatment, it did win a Nobel Prize for treatments of animals and humans. Okay? Tell the whole truth. Yes, it is used for livestock. It has been used for livestock. But it's also been used for people. And it's also won a prize for safety of being used for people. And like I said, there are doctors around the world who are trying to start the conversation about early treatment and how this has been effective. But they're not going to tell that part. That's the scary part. Are you people that comfortable with knowing that you're being lied to? Like, that's cool with you? These people think that you're so fucking stupid they can mislead you and tell you anything? Y'all are okay with that. You're all okay with being lied to. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm not. Okay. So I don't have any use for people like Jimmy Kimmel. You can go to hell. All right. You don't need me to tell you that. I'm sure you're well on your way. Mark Hamill. Bro, you're breaking my heart. You are totally breaking my heart. I wish you would truly think about what you do before you do it, knowing all of the people that have admired you and respected you. But anyway, guys, you can get in the comment section and let me know what you think about all of this. You know, you want to come in here and you want to fucking attack me personally. By now, you should all know you ain't dealing with that person over there. You're not dealing with that channel over there. You're dealing with this channel, and you know that I will deal with your ass. Okay, definitely. So, like I said, get in the comment section, do what you want, say what you want, but try to do it in a way that is respectful. Try to do it in a way that is productive, because that's what we need more of. All right, as always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Thank you for listening, guys. You can catch me on Twitter. If not, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.